Lewis, did you catch that? I wasn't sure. So my thing is sort of weird. So anyway, hi, it's Ellen Lewis from Crazy for You. Been a crazy 24 hours here, I'll tell you that. If you hear in the background, my neighbor with his chainsaw, we actually had a tornado go right over our house last night. I can laugh now, I can smile. Let me just tell you, it was so scary, unbelievably terrifying. Oh my gosh, we could hear it in the house. I'm screaming up the stairs, Colton, get down here, get in the basement. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. Anyway, the chainsaw in the background would be my neighbor because a lot of us had some tree damage. So there's that. My goodness, it was awful. Anyway, has anybody ever been in something like that? I thought that only happened like in, well, La Plata and out in the Midwest, and of course in Wizard of Oz land. But anyway, very scary stuff. So thank you guys for being here tonight. I didn't have a chance to do a newsletter this week, which means I didn't send out a notification that I was doing this. Everything has just been a little bit screwy and late. So my apologies on that. But I do have a really fun session for you tonight, a fun episode. We had talked a few weeks ago about me looking at the my top picks from like the most recent. And I thought, well, here it is. It's 1st of July. I could go back. I could go like the whole last 6 months. I could do it twice a year. I can maybe do it every quarter. Oh my gosh. So many patterns are being published every single month. And I got to tell you, a lot of them are pretty close to exactly the same thing. But when I started looking at like what was published just in June, I have so many gorgeous things to share with you that are just published in June. And I don't know if you are like in Ravelry every minute of every day, or you go down that black hole very frequently, but there's a lot. So I have sorted through for you all of what I consider to be the best and cutest little tops um, for that were published in June. And I thought, this would be really fun. I talked to Whitney and see if she would like to do some of this with me next month. So at the end of the month, we'll go ahead and we'll do one for July, because I know that there's already been some really cute ones published in July, and I can't include that tonight because we have to keep this to June. So yay. Thank you for being here, Amelia and Jal and Barbara and Jana. Yes, I am so happy we are safe. And I am so grateful. I feel so incredibly grateful and blessed that we were not hurt. Nobody in our little area was injured. We had minimal damage to the house and stuff. I mean, I lost some pots, but let me tell you, when that stuff was whirling around, I thought any of those things could come right through the window, but nothing did. So again, I am so grateful. There goes the chainsaw. So I apologize if you hear that. Anyway, hey, Billy, nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so let's look at my little presentation that I put together for you. And I have you can see on the side here, I have the comments coming up on the screen. So I will go ahead and present. I hope this works. And yes. All right. So these are my favorite sweaters from June 2025. And I'm trying to see if there's a way that I can, not really. So this goes all into full screen, I think. Hang on just a second. Let me see if there's a way for me to share this with, hang on a second. Stop sharing. Let me see if I can do something here. Present or invite, share screen. I want to just my Chrome tab. Let's see if I can do that. If I present, does that go full screen? Yay, much better. Okay, I like that way better. Okay, favorite sweaters from June 2025. And these are just my picks, everybody is different, and I would love to hear from you. If there's something that I bring up that you absolutely love, please tell me in the chat. I've put the names of every sweater and the designer in there. And if you are interested, I have all of these linked in my favorites, not in a particular bundle, but they're all tagged 2025-06. So 2025-06. If you want to find any of them, they're all tagged that way, and you can see that in my favorites. So let's get to it. And hey, Liz, and hey, I don't know, MILF and coffee. So hey there. Nice to see you. Okay, so this is my first one, and I love it. This is called the Amy top, and it's by somebody called Mochi Knits. And this is one that Whitney found and sent to me. Yes, I love this so much. Sleeveless tank. Yep, Amelia says the same thing. Sleeveless tank with collar is her style. And this person also loved it. Please tell me your first name so I can reach out to you and say your name. Yes, I think it's beautiful because it's white. I was trying to find a picture today, and I did a search of all of my Google pictures. Ellen in white sweater. There was like thousands of them. So very funny. Yes, I love this. This is worked at a gauge of 21 stitches over 4 inches, top down in the round. I think it would be perfect in Rowan Creative linen. Um, if it were me, I might make a tiny bit of an adjustment here, maybe bring this down a little bit. See, this is just a straight angle. Like from here, it's a straight. They've obviously done increases. I don't know. I might bring that all the way up and bring it in. I don't know. I would have to play with it. But isn't it gorgeous? I think it's so elegant. Love, love, love. Whitney's already talking about wanting to do a knit along on that. So tell me in the chat if you're interested in a knit along with Whitney. Love, 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 love. Okay, this one I had to bring. This is Yumiko Alexander's latest design called Reflection. It's worked with a new yarn that I have ordered called Dando Cotton Air, which is very fine. And the intention of Cotton Air is that it always is going to be worked with 2 strands. So she's taken advantage of the fact that they're using 2 strands to do this beautiful marl color play in it. And she's worked a bunch of different options. Here it is in the pink. And I highlighted this just to showcase the fact that you can it's got a split hem and a little bit longer. And this is very subtle. This is worked with the red and the hot pink, which is super cute. And then here's one over here that is more neutral tones. I think that one is also gorgeous. I just love this. And I love the idea of the 2 strands. I am really getting all about that. Loving it with the Ito. You could do it with, obviously with the Cotton Air, like I said, which I have, or you could do it with one of the Itos. It would also be really pretty with 2 strands of Kinu or 2 strands of Soasa. So very, very nice there. This is called the Going West tee. And if you know me, you know that I don't tend to be an in the round yoke kind of girl, but there's something about this one that just really works. I know a lot of people do love the yoke. And for me, the fact that the design stays up above the armhole separation means that you're not going to have a lot of the issues. Additionally, with this lower scoop neck, you're not going to have the extra fabric up at the top. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But yeah, I think this is super cute. It looks to me like a little bit soft, like fuzzy. And it's not fuzzy, but it's worked at a gauge of 22 stitches with a sport weight yarn, so a little bit loose. And I thought this would be just beautiful in the Yarn Citizen Trinity. I know that is a wool blend. The yarn here is a wool blend, But I just thought that would be so pretty and soft, and it wouldn't be, because it's so light, it wouldn't be hot and itchy. I also love that she showcases this both in the cap sleeve and then in a slightly longer sleeve. I don't have this pattern, I haven't purchased it, but I do like the way she's been able to make this sleeve, even though it's a top down in the round, she's been able to make that sleeve fit a little better. A lot of times with the top down, we see the sleeve is a little too big, but this fits perfectly, and I think it's very cute. I don't know this designer. She is new to me. So have a look at that and see what you think. All right. This isn't necessarily exclusively summer top, but I think it could be. This is by Nora Gone. It's called Dolomite. 24 stitches over 4 inches, top down in the round. And Nora has always been so into making sweaters with unusual construction. And she's got that here. This is top down in the round, but she's got this pretty little inset there. And I know she's done a very thoughtful job with the construction. And I really like that. Now, in keeping with the idea that it should be a summer top, I'm suggesting two strands of Ito Kinu held together. That would give you a fingering weight gauge because it's two lace. I think that would look really beautiful together. Hi, Mary. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see you. So anyway, this would be pretty with the two strands of Kinu, and you can see that it's kind of tweedy. She's used a yak blend, which would be very warm indeed for the summer. But with two strands of Kinu, it would be totally wearable, on the hottest of days. So yay. Tell me if you ever wear long sleeved things in the summertime, or if you're just like, nope, 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 sleeveless all the way. Okay, this one is very cute. She is not new. I think she did the lavender top. Her name is familiar to me. Maybe there is another designer named Ekaterina, but I thought this was very cute. It is also worked top down in the round at a DK weight gauge. It would be perfect in Rowan Summerlight DK. There's even this color. But I love the way she's got this miter at the hem, which brings it into a point. Because I love a pointed hem vest. I think they are so cute and so flattering. And this one is just beautiful. And this was brilliant, I think, to use that mitering technique to bring that in. Um, you can see here that the armhole is nice. It's shaped. It is a little big here, which is something that we get a lot of times with the top down in the round. I know. Um, so yeah, we'll talk about that. But isn't that cute? 19 stitches, so cute. It's worked with a DK and it's got a little bit of a pushed gauge. So I think that's very, very pretty. Yes, let's see. Short sleeves for me, salmon color. Absolutely. Yes, very pretty. Sleeveless. I love that, Amelia. I wear sleeveless year round at this point in my life. You go, girl. I get it. Plus, you're very athletic. You have beautiful, strong arms. This one kind of blew me away. So I was looking at this. This is actually designed for the Ito combination that the Lova top is knitted in. And it takes the same amount of yarn as Lova. And I have those Lova kits on the website. This is just beautiful. Gauge is 21 stitches. It's worked top down in the round, but it's so much attention to detail. It's just lovely. The front, this beautiful cable that comes up and tracks around the neck and then melts into this back here where you've got a European construction. So very nice fit. I don't see any issues with this. Beautiful sleeve length. Look at the way that cable continues down. And I think I was showing somebody else that if you wanted to bring that sleeve cap in, you could work another cable right there. And that would bring that sleeve cap in and make it a little closer if you wanted. But I think this is absolutely stunning. I love that neckline. Yeah, don't you love that neckline? Yes. Beautiful stuff. I think this is a really special. It's called the Sylvan Tea and it's by Annetta Blyer. Yes, that Celtic pattern. It's just gorgeous. Very elegant. And the fabric, I can tell you that fabric is the same fabric that I'm using. I'll show you. If you watched the Ito, that is this fabric. Right? So this is Ito and Soasa. My colors are just slightly different from one another. So you get a kind of a tweedy effect. If you wanted it to be less tweedy, you could go with one of the grays where the Kinu and the Soasa colors are like nearly identical. So anyway, very pretty. Let's see. Looks like a Filatura de Croce design. Ooh, good eye. You have been in the knitting world for a while, haven't you? I love that. Yes, it absolutely does. Um, yes. And Amelia says this is something in the fun to knit, fabulous to wear category, which is huge for me. I like boring knits. I don't have an issue with them, but I know a lot of folks really would get bored with just the straight stockinette. But this is one that would be interesting to knit, not too hard. You wouldn't have to be a slave to the pattern, but it would keep you on your toes a little bit. So very pretty. Okay, so this is Petite Knits. She actually had two new patterns last month. This one is the Ivy Top, and it's worsted gauge, 20 stitches, worked down in the round. If you were going to do this, I would do this with one strand of Sonata and one strand of Soasa, which would give you a very soft fabric. Um, Now, if you kind of look at this close up, you can see that she's done that sort of saddle shoulder tailoring, which I like very much from her designs. And it gives you the shaped armhole, which to me kind of approximates the set-in sleeve cut, which I like a lot. And then this just sort of um, modified funnel, small funnel neck, very pretty. Yeah, I think that's a nice one. And I just want to contrast that with this one, which is her Ivy T. And what has happened here is when she gets into the sleeve there, for whatever reason, she gets a lot of extra fabric here in the top. Um, and I know um, a lot of us who knit this stuff and we get this extra fabric, we think, oh, there's something wrong with our body or whatever. Here, this is a very tiny woman and she's the designer. And it's just something about the way this thing is constructed that you get that little bunching right there, which I don't love. And you don't have that here. Yes, I agree with you. The ivy top is gorgeous. It's very elegant. And there were a number of them like that. This was the one I picked because I did. But I'll share, if we have time, I'll share with you some of the others that I thought were super cute. Um, I like that everyday wear look on the Ivy tee. Yes. Have you experienced any issues with this sort of bunching up with that? I feel like it wouldn't maybe if you had the neckline just a smidge lower. Those of you who are pros with the top down and have modified top down sweaters, I'd love to hear in the chat how you have gotten around that little spot there. But yes, very cute. Sonata plus So also would be perfect. Okay, this is very cute. Noah top. It's by Love Knit and I. The gauge is 23 stitches over 4 inches. Worked from the bottom up in the round. This would be gorgeous in Rowan Cotton Revive. Love the way that they are that same kind of bringing the design up around the V neck. So pretty. Just a, simple little column of lace. This would be also pretty in the cotton trio if you wanted a slightly more textured look, but I think Cotton Revive is just perfect for this, and it comes in great colors. So very cute. How many of you would wear this? How many of you differentiate between a a tank like this and sleeveless? I know that a lot of women, if they don't wear sleeveless, they're not going to wear any of this. Other people would wear sleeveless, but not something with the tank straps. So tell me, I'm interested in knowing your take on that. So I think that one's very, very attractive. Okay. This I think is beautiful. This is the Pierre top, and it's by Johanna Geirisch. I think that's German. Whoops, that is not that. Okay, sorry, that's in there. I always have some error in my thing. Anyway, I thought this was beautiful. This has worked. Something's not right here. Hang on. Okay. I have to go to Ravelry here and see what I screwed up on. Okay. I'm going to log in here and see. I did this kind of at the last minute, and I apologize for my mess up. But I want to get the right pattern for you. Okay. Yes, that is the Pierre top, and it is worked light fingering in at 22. Okay. So yes, this is worked in light fingering at a gauge of 22. I think this actually would be beautiful in Rowan cotton glacé because I love the way cotton glacé has so much structure. I think the lace would look very pretty in that. Um, One issue I have with this is how it doesn't seem to kind of fit at the underarm. This is something that would need a great deal of modification in my book because this would make me insane. Having that armhole kind of too deep there. But I do think it's a beautiful design, and if we were to mess with it a little bit, I think it's something that we could make work. Pierre top looks like, okay, let's see. Two, okay. All right. Would not wear a top with a strap this thin. That's this. Would not wear a top with a strap this thin. Rose says too much peekaboo with the tank. Straps are too skinny. What the heck? These stuff look so much better, don't they? So much better than what we see in Paris. I think they're very cute. I love the sleeveless, but no is too open for me. Oh my goodness, really? Okay. Um, Love the vintage look. I think that is about this one. Yes, this does look sort of vintage, and this would definitely be a lot of fun to knit. Amelia says petite top, Pierre top looks like it'd be okay with the strap width and placement. Yes. So I think what I'm hearing from you is that if you have enough space to wear a bra, we're okay with it. But when we don't necessarily have enough space for a bra, or we feel like we would be showing our undergarments, that's where we kind of have an issue. Good to know. Tell me if I nailed that. Tell me if that's what you meant to be saying. Okay, love this. I think this is so cute. This is called Mentally in Paris, and this is by Maren Skries. Um, Worked in the round, top down, 20 stitches over 4 inches. So worked in a decade, so a little bit lighter weight, but this to me is the way she's photographed this speaks to exactly why I like this kind of top, because we are absolutely knitting for all the time. I think this is a beautiful wardrobe basic. I love the fit. I love the fact that the armhole is curved out, so you don't have that bunchy bit that we have here. You see the difference, right? That really just makes me nuts. Um, this is, I think, going to be much more flattering. Look at, she's wearing it bare, an August look. She could wear a bra with that. Whoops, she is wearing it here with under a jacket, and she's got it on under a jean jacket. If you're working, you could wear that under a blazer, and you could wear this spring, fall, and winter over a blouse or a tee or a turtleneck, which to me is just like, I'm all about the capsule wardrobe. This to me in this white with this little lace panel up the front is exactly what we need in our wardrobe. Exactly like what this gal here said. Whoops, up here. It's a wardrobe basic. I think you should have and knit something like that. How many times have you gone to the store looking for something like that and you find it, but it doesn't look good? It's, you know, crummy or whatever. Mm. Anyway, love that. Okay, so the last one that I have to show you is, of course, this. I think this is gorgeous. I know that you love it too, right? Love pretty much everything Hintermstein does. I think she is one of the masters of this construction. She was a pioneer in it, and I would trust her. Look at the shape of that armhole. It is utterly perfect. If I didn't know better, I would say that is a bottom up, seamed, shaped armhole. Um, Love this. I probably like this even better than the one that I showed you in that peach color. It's got this cute little tailored pocket. It definitely looks like a waistcoat. And this is a look that we have seen again and again in ready to wear. It's just beautiful, with linen pants. You could do this. This is such a basic. So, you know me, I love basics. And look at this. It's got a gauge of 18 stitches over 4 inches. It would knit so fast. Oh my gosh, this would knit so fast. It makes me want to go cast on right now, you know? Um, and I know that her patterns tend to have a lot of instruction in how you might want to modify them. So I love that about her also. If I were going to knit this today, if I were going to cast it on tonight, I would probably cast it on with Illimani Sabri 2, which is a chainette construction cotton blend that I absolutely love working with. It holds its shape. It's beautiful and smooth, and it comes in, a variety of neutrals as well as some pop colors. Or I would do Juniper Moon Cumulus, which is very, very soft, another chainette construction, but it's sort of more soft, a little less crisp. But if you love Cumulus, it would be gorgeous. Look at this little thing in the back. It is just literally perfect, right? So everybody loves it. Let's see what everybody's saying. Just bought that vest today. Of course you did, Amy. You go. I think we need to knit that. Rose says, yep, classy vest. Somehow Chanel. Absolutely Chanel. Absolutely. Susie loves the tailored vest. Bespoke style. Yes, you guys got it for sure. Tailored vest straight from Chanel Studio. Yep, absolutely. I love you guys. So that's my pick. I sort of think the cream of the crop from the June offerings. I love that these designers are putting stuff out. I would bet that next month when I pull patterns, a lot of them are going to be from these same designers. I try not to go to just the most popular, but really look at those that I think have given some real thought to the designs that aren't just another, V-neck pullover or vest, but ones that have a little bit something added to make the knitting more interesting and to up level them as a basic. We all want basics in our wardrobe, but basic doesn't have to mean boring. These to me are garments that you will love to knit and will stand the test of time. You could wear them for decades and they will still look amazing. Um, ooh, look. Here's what Amy says, discount code Taylor right now. Everybody go and buy this pattern right now. It is absolutely fabulous. Oh, another yarn that would be gorgeous for this is the Rowan hand knit cotton. That would be very, very crisp and pretty in this. And I like that yarn so much better at 18 than I do at 20. So that would be perfect. Yes. And I think it would be better than the Juniper Moon Cumulus. I'll probably go in and change that. But yeah, tailored vest has great design elements, lovely shape, featured yarn is perfect. Yep, beautiful. So let's see, classic. All right. So yay, that was fun. So those are my picks. 12 of my favorite sweaters from June 2025. And everybody go and buy tailored vest. And I also think you should buy this first one. Where are we? This one is also gorgeous. The Amy top. Also beautiful. Amy, you have to buy that because it's named after you. This might be a little bit too low cut for some of you, but that can absolutely be modified. And this one's knit at 21. So beautiful and different. I think they would both be lovely and worthy additions to your summer knitting project list. So thank you guys so much for joining me. This was super fun. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this fun look at June projects, give the video a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I go live every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern time, and I love to see you here. So it's super fun to share these little pattern looks with you. And if there's something you would like for me to do a video on, I would be happy to do that. You can tell me in the comments. Coming up for the rest of the month, I think we have a lot of looks at sweater fit. I might go so far as to kind of talk about seamed versus top down and seamless and sort of open that up for discussion. So stay tuned. And if you click the little bell, you'll always know when I go live. So thanks again. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, keep knitting and create something beautiful. Good night. Ooh, yes.